So when a man begins to pray, he's opening his realm to unimaginable possibilities. Every time you pray, something happens to you. Number one, your fire and intensity increases. Number two, the glory of God on your life increases. The Bible said as he prayed, the fashion of his countenance was altered. Matthew 17 verse 2 and 3. His raiment began to glister. So the level of glory a man carries can be doctored. When you start praying, illumination, glory begins to increase. And over and above that, God begins to answer you, even of the things that you did not ask. Because your prayer is also a dimension of faith. It means you trust God as your source. Somebody has headache. He tells 10 people, headache, I have headache, I have headache. Sometimes this is my headache. And he has not prayed about it. Somebody has a loan, he has not paid. He has asked 200 people. He has not prayed about it. Somebody has a growth, he has not prayed. He has told 10 people about it. But for those who have understanding, the moment there's an affliction, before any living creature is aware, you talk to God. There's nothing that happens in my life that I don't talk to God first. As close as my wife is to me, before she's aware of it, I tell God first. Because the solution will come from God. There are many things she can help me with, but God helps me with everything. There's a huge difference. Most of us tell men everything about our lives, but we have not told God. And the worst part is that when we perceive the man can help, we now turn ourselves to slaves. Kindly be reminded, dear sir, I just want you to, in the most humble way, please, if you don't mind, saying all kinds of things. You know all the courtesy, the diplomacy to beg people, but you don't know what to do on the altar. Meanwhile, your life is designed to produce results from the altar. The first man God blessed was a man of the altar. Genesis 12 from verse 1 to 3. God gave Abraham sevenfold blessings. Genesis 12 verse 8, 9. Abraham started altars. Altars, altars, altars. Genesis 13, 18. Altars. Because he knew the way to service the blessing is by staying on the altar. But a Christian talks to every other person apart from God. And you know what the Bible said? He said, woe unto him that putteth his trust in the arm of flesh. He said, the arm of flesh will fail you. He's telling you before you start, the arm of flesh will fail you. My people know we don't beg nobody for nothing. That's why we are bold to say the truth. We say, if God moves you, thank you. We will be grateful. We are not arrogant not to say thank you, not to show gratitude. But the day we will go about looking for who will help us, will never come. We just ordered buses from Lagos. We are not telling anybody, please come and buy bus. If I have to announce something here, it's because the Holy Ghost instructs me, so that the people can be blessed. But how does it happen? Prayer. Sometimes as you are praying, God gives you a strategy. You just apply that strategy. Sometimes as you are praying, God adds favor to your life. And somebody just looks at you as you talk. He says, God, this man is on fire. And his response to fire is 20 million. Sometimes as you are talking, somebody does something. The Holy Ghost just moves you to apologize. You apologize and somebody sees it. And say, this guy is humble. Let me bless him. How does humility connect to blessing? Something came on you when you were praying. An aroma came on your life. This is the secret that many are not aware. Listen, God will not jump down from heaven to bless you. But most channels that he uses to bless you are manipulated by prayer. And the devil knows this. So he will get a Christian to do everything but to pray. You watch movies, you visit friends, you travel for holidays, but prayer, no way. And you see that your life is an unending struggle. Have you not been there where a man promised you? He has the capacity, he shows the eagerness, but the day he should deliver on his promise, suddenly he's nowhere to be found. That's the typical expression of men. And some of us who know who men are, we decide to wait on God. I would rather stay with God for eternity than to allow a man make mockery of the grace of God on my life. I will rather stay with God. And I'm not saying if there is an opportunity for a man to help you, you should cut it off. That's not what I'm saying. That would be foolishness and arrogance. But I am saying you can never make a man your trust. In Psalm 23 from verse 1, the psalmist said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Do you know who is praying? That's a king praying. The whole nation belongs to him. And it's not just a king, that's a warrior. He has fought, David fought 66 battles. He didn't lose anyone. So he's a man who understands the spoils of war. There are many gold they took from battle they've not touched. But he didn't say, my strength delivered them to me. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So every time the guy has a crisis, he runs to God first. He runs to God. He makes that relationship so personal, and his jealousy is invested in it. When he was dancing and praising God, Micah, his wife, looked at him and made mockery of him. He said, it's not your father's sword that made me king. It is God that makes me king. David never came to a point where he said, I'm an experienced warrior. If he wants to go to battle, he calls the priest, bring the Urim and the Thummim. Let's consult with God. God must give a go-ahead before he fights. So the reason he was invincible was because he was a man of prayer. You may have done that thing for 30 years. It doesn't mean you are experienced enough. Trust me, the demons that are watching over that gate, they have been there from the foundation of the earth. Your 30 years is child's play when you come to them. These guys are masters in frustrating men. And so no matter what happens, make prayer your lifestyle. Whatsoever you do, pray. 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 There's something about prayer that will preserve you. There's something about prayer that will change your story. Sometimes you even pray, you don't hear the voice of God, but the glory on your life has increased. And as you walk out of that place, oh, you will see what God will begin to do. As a minister, I discovered surprisingly that many times when I lock myself to pray, that's when I receive the biggest blessings. I'm telling you, those who are around me, they will tell you. When I travel around, trust me, it's necessity. It's a burden. There's a necessity and a burden on us to preach this gospel to the nations. That's why we travel. If I shut my door and say I'm going in for 14 days, if I come out, the blessings that I receive in behind closed doors is unquantifiable. That's how God works. As you are praying, things are happening around you. Your heavens begin to move. The angels begin to walk. So many things are happening, and your frequency becomes open to hear God. The distractions are taken away, and you discover that the reality of the true man that you are begins to find expression. But many Christians are not praying. That's why they are where they are. The second instrument for your preservation is prayer. As much as you can, and as much as is within your power, pray. It will change your life.